So we're actually got lucky here that we kind of have a chopping block, which most campsites don't have. So if I was doing this at a site that didn't have this block here, we'd be working on the ground, not on a rock. People make that mistake, and then if you miss, then you end up dinging up your edge. So, you know, if you have to work with wood on the ground here, I wouldn't do any kind of chopping, like standing above it, taking shots and stuff. Just because if it glances or something, you can go off and hit, that's where you get the evac thing into your legs. Whereas if you get down on your knees and you miss or it glances off, it'll go into the ground before it hits you. But we got lucky here, we have like a block. So I would, a couple suggestions: keep your legs apart. Again, you got to watch for glancing and stuff. You don't want to drive it into your leg. And then another thing too, sometimes there's smaller pieces. This one's standing up, okay, so it's not so much of a problem, but well, maybe I'll chop this and say if I want to break down the piece even smaller. You know, say like this guy. Yeah, that's not standing up by itself. So if you need some help with things oh, that one wants to do it. Anyways, rather than kind of balancing and then taking a swing or keeping your hand there, you don't ever want to do that. So a better idea is just get another little piece of wood, stick. That can do the holding. You keep your hand out of the way, and then you can chop pieces finer like that.
What's the axe you got?
This is a Wetterlings Hudson's Bay axe, which is a 2.5 pound head, which is fairly heavy, but the more I use this axe, the more I like it. It's kind of a jack of all trades axe. You can split, you can limb, you can fell. I mean, we're not doing any felling on a camping trip, but good packable size. Hey, you have one of these too, yeah?
Yeah, I like that one because it's between a force axe and what I call a maul, but you call it something else. But
a splitting axe, yeah, exactly. So it's kind of a, you know, it's a bit top heavy, but it just, like, the more I use it, the more I respect this thing. It's a good model.
Now for taking care of it, it's raining all this trip, right? So what are you going to do when you get home?
Well, I've been good about keeping up on my oiling routines on the handle, but that's something you do have to watch, is if your wood handle gets wet, and if you haven't oiled it or been keeping up with your oiling, and then you're out on a trip like this one where basically it rained all day yesterday, the water can get into the cells of the wood. It'll swell them, which is actually a trick. If your handle's loose and you need, you know, you're out on a trip and you have to use your axe, you can soak the handle like in water, and it will swell up and tighten on the head, but downside is it will pop the cells of the wood. So once it dries after that, the wood will shrink even more. So you have to replace the handle. So the way to avoid that is getting wet and then it popping the cells is to oil your wood handle, and that'll stop water from penetrating into the cells and popping them. So this has been oiled. So when I get this home, I would probably, well, we'll see how much more it rains, but I would probably do another, you know, oiling of this.
Well, what kind of oil though? So linseed oil, or?
You can, yeah. I mean, we sell the Badger hemp oil.
Well, that's good oil.
Got oil, yeah, which is made from hemp seeds. It's nice because it's food safe. So if you have, like, you know, cutting boards or wooden spoons or wooden implements or stuff, you can use it. I guess theoretically you can make salad dressing with it. Not that I've ever tried that. But yeah, you can use boiled linseed oil or any kind of, I mean, you don't want to use vegetable oil or motor oil, but any kind of oil that's made for wood, you can use. But like I say, I'm a fan of the Badger oil.
Excellent. I just thought you were a pretty face.
No. Here endeth the lesson.